Scott from HeyUGuys. Lovely to meet you. Not bad, how are you?
Great, thank you.
Congratulations on the film.
Thank you so much.
Huge movie. You've been involved in some huge movies.
But it's a big movie, isn't it?
Yeah. Steven Spielberg, first and foremost. What made him write for this movie? It seems as though the book was written for him to direct the film version of this.
Yeah, well, the book is in so many ways kind of an homage and a love letter to Spielberg because he so much kind of defined the 1980s and that whole period of time, and he meant so much to Ernest Cline, who wrote the book. So, but even though there's that, he took the things that were self-referential about his own films kind of out of the movie because he didn't want to be too self-referential. But he is so much about getting giant spectacle and action adventure in a way that kind of defined movies for our time. But he always makes personal stories first and foremost inside of a giant canvas. And that's what I think he did so beautifully with this, is you're always with these characters emotionally, but yet you're going into a world you've never seen before. It's an incredible epic adventure. So he ties those two things together so beautifully.
And having, obviously important to have Steven because he seems like the perfect director, but also to keep Ernest as part of the project and to have his input in the script. Because sometimes, you know, with these kind of movies, you get the book and then someone takes it away in a way, but it's very personal to him. And he's
No, Ernest is intimately involved with the movie the whole way, and he was extraordinarily helpful. He wrote a draft of the script. He then worked with Zach Penn, our other writer, who came on afterward and wrote on the script, and we consulted with him every step of the way and came back and forth to set, so it was a wonderful collaboration.
The motion capture in this is incredible, as well as the visuals, to bring all these amazing characters, you know, from the Iron Giant to the DeLorean, and the guys in there as well. I mean, how much of an undertaking was that to bring it to the screen? Because it's a lot of work,
It's a giant undertaking. I mean, you know, sitting there out at Leavesden Studios and shooting motion capture in a stage that was just white walls and white carpeting with the actors running around in tracking suits, having no idea what you were going to get at the end of the day, and then watching what ILM created. Our production designer, Adam Stockhausen, designed this virtual world of the OASIS in such an incredibly brilliant, extraordinary way, and to see it all start to come to life visually when we would start to see the shots come in was the most thrilling thing you can possibly imagine. Because in the moment when we were shooting, no one had any idea what was going to exist. Of course, it was all in Steven's head. He knew.
I mean, you're involved in a lot of projects. What's next for you? Have you got your next kind of projects lined up for you as a producer?
I have a couple of things lined up, but hopefully my next one for Warner Brothers will be a movie with Tiffany Haddish, who is incredibly funny.
Everyone's talking about it from the Oscars. And
yes, wasn't she great?
She was fantastic, yeah.
Yeah, so I have a project with her at Warner Brothers, a comedy that we will plan on making in October.
Fantastic.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey You Guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yes.
Nice.
Hey!